Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today we have something a little bit different than a card. We are going to be creating my favorite little, I call it a gift wallet, and it doesn't always mean one thing. So I'll go into that soon, but first of all, this is what we are going to be creating today. So just a little look at it and then we will go ahead. Now this is easy. Let me show you how. Having some 12 by 12 paper would be very handy for this. I don't have any. The biggest paper I have is the 6 by 8 Vicki Boutin paper pad, which I absolutely love these paper pads. I have, I think I have 2 of them, and I have a Simple Stories one as well, the 6 by 8 size, so I'll be working with that today. Now, a quick tip before we even get started is that if you are unsure of measurements or you're unsure how you want yours to work out, my best tip would be use some copy paper first. Create it out of some cheap computer copy paper, some newspaper, some magazines from the mail, the junk mail. Anything, just create it first to make sure that we don't waste beautiful paper. Now I was planning on using the pink side here on the outside, but then once I saw those bubbles and dots, I thought, that could be fun too. So first of all, we need to get rid of those little bits up the top. This is the bit that you tear out of the paper pad. So I'm just going to whip those off. Now, my measurements aren't really going to matter. I will tell you them as I go. I am going to make this 5.5 inches wide, and then I score at 1.5 inches from one side and 1.5 inches from the other side. So 5.5 wide, and then 1.5 inches in, and then I flick it around here and I score 1.5 inches in. These are just the rough measurements I like because, as I'll show you at the end, they fit, if you want, they fit a gift card really nicely. All you need to make sure is that you have some overlap here. Now, we're going to be folding this, so don't stress if there is sort of too much adhesive for what you need. So I put a full strip down here, and then I'm going to do the same on the other one. You can do it before or after you fold it. And then there's also a couple of different ways where you can put the next fold in. But I'll show you 2 different versions. I think me even talking this makes it complicated. I think just with watching the video, this is so super simple. I like simple creations. I'm into not a lot of measuring. So as you can see, this is right up my alley. And I love this little gift wallet. Now I am going to burnish the sides with a little bone folder just to make sure they're nice and crisp and flat. Now, some suggestions of the things that are able to go in here. I love, if you are like a mama or a papa or a grandma or a grandpa or aunties, and if you have family members going away overseas on a holiday, on a trip, often they get homesick or anything, I like to fill all of these little pockets up with some little inspirational quotes, with little letters from home, letters from my children, things, not necessarily money or gift cards or those sorts of things, but just little lovey things that you can pop in, and it's a nice little compact size for them to take. But also, if you have children or if you have, nieces and nephews or grandbabies and Christmas coming up, you could make a Christmas version of this one. You could do this for birthdays. You could put in, $10 vouchers, a couple of $10 vouchers to their favorite little dairies or cafes or those sorts of things, and then fill up with other little bits and pieces that might be precious to them. The world is your oyster when it comes to how you would like to present this. So I am just going to, you saw I put another piece of adhesive in the middle, and then essentially you fold these in half so they become 2 pockets. So now I already have 4 pockets. Now for me, these pockets are going to be about 4 inches tall. So because I had a 6 by 8 paper pad and I've obviously folded it in half, it's roughly that tall. Now I'm going to make a really quick one here. So you saw that I think my preference is to score at the 4-inch mark once you have everything folded and put together. But I do just want to show you with this one here. So I'm going to make this 5.5 inches across like the first one. And I wasn't sure which side. I actually thought I was going to do the blue side out here, but you'll see that I get distracted very easily. So I'm scoring 1.5 inches in on this side and 1.5 inches in. We're essentially making a really long tunnel. This is just to make another pocket. Now I am going to score at the 4-inch mark already. So this one is not how I did the first one. The first one, I put it all together, made it into the tube, and then scored at the 4-inch mark, and I just turned it over on both sides and scored it on both sides, and I just feel like I get a much crisper fold once I do it there. But you can see as I did this one, I did it to begin with, then I add my little piece of adhesive up the center, and then I can fold it already. But my preferred way is the first version, but I just thought I would show you both. And now this way I have 6 pockets already. You can go until you are happy. You can stop at, 4 pockets. You could go for heaps and heaps and heaps. So it is completely up to you. Now, once we like to put them all together, I'm again going to put a strip down 2 of these because that will connect them up nicely. And I quite like this width. I find that if I go with the 1/8 or the 1/4 inch, it just is not enough. Not secure enough in between. So I quite like the 1/2 inch tape, and you can see there we have the inside of the pocket ready to go. Now this is my measuring just roughly. Now, and I will also say that if you have 12 by 12 inch paper, this is going to make your life a whole lot easier, because I am sort of piecing bits together just because I only have the 6 by 8. So I'm going to put 2 of these together, and then you'll see that I just have to put some adhesive down one end. I have the 2 flaps, and then I will also need to make a third one that will come over the top. But again, if you already have just like a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper, you can just make one straight long line and put your score marks in wherever you need it to. I prefer to have the bottom and the top of my little gift wallet be about 1/2 inch wide. If you are planning on jam packing it with little notes and things that are folded, so got lots of pieces of paper and things, maybe if you are putting in a pair of earrings or a little piece of jewelry or something like that, then you need to take that into account for the thickness. I write little notes on computer paper, or little hearts, or little things like that. I put in the odd gift card. Sometimes I will fold up a note, a money, like a $10 note. So I find that 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom is going to be perfect for me. But it just depends what you are planning on putting in. But essentially, if you have a nice big long strip of paper, you can do this without doing it in the 3 parts like I had to. Originally, I thought the little flap that I had going over top, I would do a different color, but I actually changed my mind, and I was happy with just doing all the same pattern all the way around. So you can see there, very, very basic. That's all we are creating. And you can see I've got 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom. That is going to be like the width of it. And then this is where we come to some very simple decorations for how to keep a simple closure on that little gift wallet. So this is the mini big bow stamp from the Woodware, and I've used this in a few different things. I think this can be used for birthdays, for Christmas, just that beautiful gift bow. I am going to do a little bit of layering, of course, to make this bow beautiful, even more beautiful, and I love that it has nice, easy lines that I can fussy cut out. Again, if you know and you've watched my channel, I do like to very carefully select the things that I'm going to fussy cut and make it easier for myself. As far as I'm aware, there are no dies with this one, but you may have a die just by itself that makes bows. That would be beautiful. You could make your own bow with some ribbon. It would look stunning with some ribbon that had wire edges to it. That would look, and that way it would keep its shape really nicely. If you did just beautiful soft fabric ribbons, then it would squish up a bit better if it were going to be packaged. All sorts of good things that you could put on the front. So the first bow, I cut it out completely, and then the second bow, I'm going to cut off the little tails and the extra sort of underneath shadow part. Then we're just going to, while we have this piece of paper out and the trimmer, I'm just going to cut a little 1/2 inch. I actually did 2 because I wasn't sure, but you just need one, just a little piece, a little 1/2 inch piece here, and this is going to be part of our closure later on, but we're just going to put it aside while we've got all these papers out. Now this is where I'm going to put this all together. Again, one more strip of adhesive down the center here. You want this on both sides, because I like the idea when you sort of pull the little gift wallet open, that all of the little pockets sort of stretch open. This also means that it's really, really easy to get things in and out of the pockets. You're not sort of fiddling with your fingers in sort of a really tight space. It's just really, really easy to get things in and out, which is what you want for a little wallet like this. And then look how cool this is. how it stretches out, and again it just sort of all works. It's like a little accordion style gift wallet. Now here is the little closure. So I've got a little piece that's going to go along. I'm putting 2 little pieces of adhesive. Now all you want to do is for this to sit across only the front piece, because otherwise we don't want to close up the gift wallet. You could just do a belly band, full stop, that would be fine, but this is like a belly band but only for the front piece. So in a second you're going to see where I tuck it just around the back of that first layer, and that is also the reason that I go half an inch wider all over. So it's actually a 1/4 of an inch on each side. The wallet on the inside is smaller. So the wallet on the outside of the packaging is slightly bigger than the wallet on the inside. And that means that we can have this nice little closure for our wallet. Then of course these are just the finishing touches. I am going to pop on my bow on the front, but first of all I want to make this part a little bit dimensional, so I'm going to pop a couple of little foam dots on the outside, and then on the very inside of the bow I'm going to put just double-sided tape so that it sticks closely together, and only the edges, the puffed up pieces of the bow are what are raised, and the rest of it is down nice and flat in the middle, just right here. Then I take off all those release pieces. This is going to layer up on the first bow, and then we will pop the bow. I'm going to pop some adhesive that goes right along the back of the bow, and then it will sit nicely on our little belly band that we have created. So this is a very, very simple little gift wallet to put together. The measurements you can really do your own, but it is such a lovely idea. I love little handwritten notes. I really treasure the ones that I have from my mum, and I treasure them even more now as I'm getting older. And so this is what I love doing, and I love gifting to people. I think they really treasure it. Those in particular who I am very close to really do appreciate the time and effort that goes into these. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope you find it useful. I hope that you give it a try. I will leave links to any of the tools that I've used down below, but I don't think there's too many that you will need for this one. If you are interested in helping out my channel, I will leave a link to the Buy Me a Coffee website down below as well. I would love to know what you would put inside these little pockets. So you can see here it's super easy to get the gift card in and out, plenty of room. But yeah, let me know what you would put in these little pockets, and I am looking forward to reading the comment section down below to see what types of things you would put in there. Anyhow, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye.